them to get rid of the divisions and go into just two conferences,
like American and National.
like American National.
Like I know basketball.
Because the Central Division in both things are so.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 450 Dead Center podcast. Chris here with Daniel.
Hello.
And we're talking about the lockout. Yeah. Yeah, nobody likes the lockout, but there's nothing to talk about because there's a lockout. So, yeah, so we're talking about...
It's such a big elephant in the room right now because there's so much that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't because of the stupid lockout, so...
Yeah, and today we're talking about what we want to see come out of said lockout. So...
I mean... Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
It is pretty straightforward. If you guys are new here, enjoy the content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. You know how it is. We're almost at 500 subscribers, so that's cool. So yeah.
I know, we're super close.
Super close. So what is the first thing, Daniel, that you would want to see come out of the lockout between players and owners?
I really want to see a universal DH.
I think that's probably the biggest one, and I'm pretty sure that's going to happen regardless. What do you think?
I think it's pretty set in stone that it's gonna happen. I know there are a certain select few that do not want
who the baseball traditionalists.
Yes, the baseball. I was trying to call them
the boring guys on the MLB, the boring people.
But let's face facts here. Audience of the game is way down.
No, it's actually it's been up the last 2 years.
Has it been up the last 2 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, except now it's going down because of the lockout.
Yeah, before the pandemic, it was down. And then when they brought it back in 2020 with the universal DH, audience was up. And then...
Because there was nothing to watch, that's why.
There was nothing to watch, too. But I feel like runs were at an all-time high. I mean, more offense equals more excitement for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty set, straight math that, more excitement in the game equals more action.
Mm-hmm.
Equals more offense equals more viewership.
Exactly. And I mean, I see no point on having a difference between the American League and the National League. Like, why does who's an ace on there? Like Garrett Cole, why does he have to go just say the Yankees make the World Series, which I doubt they will. But if they do, then Garrett Cole is going to have to hit against Dodgers pitching or something. Like, it's stupid.
And the other thing is, what the universal DH does, it protects the pitchers because we've seen, like your boy Max Scherzer, in batting practice, bunting, it breaks his nose. Like, imagine someone like Jacob deGrom does it.
Yeah, that would be good. But he's a good hitter too, so it's kind of cool.
For God forbid Garrett Cole does it, then the whole Yankee community is up in arms, right?
They're like, oh, they should never be a DH, never. Or there should always be a DH, actually. Yeah.
There always should be a DH, yeah. So that's probably the one thing I really want to see out of this lockout, and I think it definitely will happen. But Chris, what's one thing you think is going to happen from this lockout?
I have a pretty good thing, and I mean, a lot of people are kind of on the fence of this, but I've been saying this since 2015, and I've always wanted expanded playoffs in baseball, just because you see every other sport out there, they have 12, 14, 16 team playoffs.
I think it's 16 usually. It's 8 on each side.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot. That's good for 32 team leagues, but baseball's 30. So I think maybe a 14 or 12 team playoff would be perfect for the MLB, or even just having 2 wildcard games or something. I don't know, on each side. I just want more teams in the playoffs, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. What's the model now? Is it 10 team?
I believe so. Yeah. But then, 2 teams get knocked out instantly, so...
whatever. So, I don't know. I love the expanded playoffs. I'm right there with you. I think there should definitely be expanded playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, I know there's a whole case, and it does make it, better, the last month of baseball when your team is really competitive. September and August are, the best things.
If you're competitive.
If you're competitive, right?
Yeah, for us as Jays fans, September was amazing. Until the last day of September when we got eliminated. But other than that, it was fantastic. Yeah. Or was it October?
October. I don't know. September, August, those 2 months were fantastic.
Yeah.
As a baseball fan. And I get it. If you put expanded playoffs in, it might take a little bit away of that. But I want to make the argument that it actually adds more because then you have more teams in the mix.
Exactly. Right? And this helps both the players and the owners, as if there's more teams in the playoffs, there's going to be more people watching playoff games, which are generally more expensive. That means there's more money going around. So there you go.
I mean, as for the number of teams that would make it, I think there was an offer in the latest.
Was it 12 or was it 14?
I don't know if it was 12 or
I
14,
think
but
it
there
was
was a
14.
latest offer. So I think 14 would be good, honestly.
I'd be completely fine with that. Like, I guess you do 7 on each side, and then you can have the wild card game still, and then there'll be 6 teams on each side make it in. I think that'd be something they could do.
I guess you can do something like that. I mean, one thing that this is why I really want expanded playoffs is because there are certain divisions that are stacked.
Yeah, but I mean that happens. Oh, that always happens. But like, there's more than in other divisions. You know.
This leads into my next point, and this is super controversial. So I don't know if you'll agree with me on that. But I want them to get rid of the divisions and go into just 2 conferences,
like American and National League.
Like American National League.
Like I know basketball does something like that, right?
Basketball does it, hockey does it.
Yeah.
I know football doesn't, but the thing is, the Central Division in both things are so bad, right?
Yeah. How does that happen every single time? It's just like I guess the Central market isn't as big, but
and I can't remember last time that both Central Divisions were super competitive. I can't remember when the AL Central wasn't either Twins or the Indians winning, or sorry, Guardians winning.
It was pretty competitive in 2020, but none of the teams were like amazing. They were all just like above average, you know? Like they weren't like Yankees, Red Sox, Tampa Bay, Blue Jays, you know? It wasn't like that. It was more just White Sox, everybody else kind of.
Yeah, like I hate the divisions for that reason because, and I this is gonna obviously depend on what kind of a fan base you are, right? So obviously as J fans, we're a little bit biased because the AL East is one of the toughest. Compared to if you talk to a Kansas City Royals fan, they're gonna love it because it's way easier for them to get in the playoffs, right?
They can't even win it, so it's whatever.
I know.
I know they won the World Series back a couple of years ago, but like still.
Yeah. I think they should just get rid of it. Go to 2 conferences, National League and American League, and then take the top, whatever it's 14 teams, top 7 from each thing or whatever.
So what would you think if it was just American National League, but then we keep the same playoff format, so the best teams make it in? I would be okay with that.
I think that'd be a little bit better, to be honest.
Me too.
I think that's definitely in the right direction. The other argument is people are making, and I've seen very brief people do this.
Yeah, talk about it.
If they're gonna get rid of the divisions, they might as well just rearrange the conferences. So then you have both New York teams in the AL and
makes sense.
And both LAs in the NL, right? It makes sense.
It makes so much sense. I don't know why they're not there already. It's so stupid.
I don't know. That's my thinking. I mean,
like, for hockey, aren't the Islanders and Rangers in the same conference?
Islanders and Rangers are the same thing.
Exactly.
Basketball, Brooklyn and the Knicks are in the same division there. So like,
and then baseball's like American National League. Yeah.
Like it's just strange. It's so strange to think about. And I get like before, if you had the universal DH, it makes sense, you know, because you had one team with pitching, right? One team with a DH. It makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
If you're getting rid of that, which we said is pretty much a guaranteed. Just get rid of the. Just rearrange the whole conferences at this point. Like make it geographically sense.
Exactly, it makes no sense for like if you're in the what's it called, the NL East. Like why the heck, or the AL East? Like you got like Toronto all the way at like in Canada, obviously, and then you just go straight down to Tampa. And
like it's literally such a simple fix too. All they have to do is take all the NL East teams and switch them with all the AL West teams. That's it.
I know, right?
And then keep the Centrals. Who cares?
Exactly. The Centrals. Nobody cares about the Centrals, but like, yeah, because they're in the Central.
Like maybe switch a Chicago team with another, I don't know, Pittsburgh because they're kind of close or whatever. But like, it's super simple. Come on.
What would you think about 3 divisions, East, West, and Central division? Like just combine them all instead of just having 6. You have 3.
Oh.
I just thought of that right now. I'm gonna be honest.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But then again, like I said, the Central Division is so shit.
Like, no, who would win? The Cubs every year?
Oh my God, the Central Division. You could see the Pirates win the whole thing if they get hot enough. Like that Central Division is actually a joke of baseball.
Yeah. Then you have like the East Division is just overpowered, and the West Division.
And East and West are just stacked. Like
yeah. That's why you gotta have. That's why you have an American and National League, but then you kind of I would still say separate it between like East, West, Central, but like just kind of split them in half, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could. Maybe.
Or maybe you could do like.
That's an interesting idea. I don't know how you do the playoffs then with that.
Well, you can do like top half of the U.S. and then you can do like bottom half of the U.S.
The U.S. top U.S. plus Canada.
Yeah, top of the U.S. plus Canada. So it's like the North versus the South. That would be funny.
Oh my gosh!
We're just
All
throwing
right,
out
well,
ideas here.
moving on. If you guys, I'm very interested to see what you guys think of that conference idea. So let me know down below. Let us know down below. But moving on here, Chris. There's been a lot of talk about free agency and player rights
Like service
and the
time
draft.
manipulation.
Service time manipulation. Do you have any opinion on that for this lockout?
They did talk about that in I think the most recent thing, and I think they said if they bring up the player so they qualify for Rookie of the Year, so that gets their service time going. They get like a draft pick or like a top 100 free whatever it's called draft pick out of like those like Dominican countries down there or Southern American countries. I think it was something like that. And hey, one of those players could turn into the next Vlad, so I think it's a great idea.
I love it that they're rewarding teams for playing their players right away.
That's the whole point.
So we don't have to wait till May to see Vlad play again. Like,
yeah, like when's Adley Rutschman gonna get called up this year? He's probably gonna get called up in May.
Probably.
May,
yeah,
July.
like
Exactly.
it's so stupid. I love it. I mean, I've also heard about the idea that they just add, you know how they have the competitive balance rounds in like drafts and that?
Yeah.
So at the end of it, make like a separate round, like an extra round, and it's just like in between the first and the second, just make, or in second and third, whatever it was, make just a round just for picks of those teams that
I think it would be really good after the second round, because after the first round that's if you lose like a superstar player due to free agency. So,
I feel like after the second round is really good. Like
the
second and third.
Yeah. Because it's not like you're like it's just a prospect. You don't know if he's gonna be like amazing so far. So yeah, it makes sense.
No, I agree. I think it's perfect. It rewards teams for playing their players early. Well, early when they're ready, and it's good for the fans because, like, let's be real. When you have a top prospect, that's a ton of buzz in your organization.
Yeah, exactly. You know how hyped the Jays got when we had Vlad, Bo, Kevin, and all that? Like, it was
like
awesome.
I can imagine Orioles fans right now. You guys have, as much as we hate on the Orioles,
about time you guys have good prospects.
You guys have a really good prospect. Like some prospects coming up. Rutschman's one of them. Keston Herstad's another one.
Grayson
I'm big
Rodriguez,
on Anthony Servideo, Grayson Rodriguez. Like those are some top guys. So if you can see them right away, I mean.
Exactly, and like that whole first year is pretty much a development year anyway, so you might as well just call them up. Like that's my reasoning. But I know like now it's service time manipulation.
And the other thing I heard about was that they were going to add in to avoid teams from tanking was to add in a draft lottery.
I like that idea. I'm going to be honest because I love the hockey draft lottery, even though I don't even like hockey. I just like watching it. So yeah, I'm okay with that. I think
like
it's
it, except it's shown in hockey that teams can get screwed out of it.
Oh, for sure. Like doesn't basketball have that too? Or is this
basketball? Both basketball and hockey both have them. But it's shown like the Oilers got so lucky and got McDavid when they had like a 0.4% chance or whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
but like that's the luck of the draw. Like baseball is a very luck-based sport, so I think it's kind of good for baseball. But
and it makes sense in that to avoid teams like, I'm just going to use the Pirates for example because they were the worst team in baseball this year. I'm basically having a AAA lineup out there. Yeah,
I mean, if you want to tank, you can still tank. Like a top 5 pick in the draft is still really good. Like, I mean, obviously it's not number 1, but maybe some teams, like we saw the Pirates, they didn't even go for the best player in the draft last year anyway because they couldn't pay the guy. So I don't think it really matters that much, you know?
The only thing I'd like to see them do is maybe only do a draft lottery for the top 3 and then move everyone down 1. So what I mean by that is, like, say, I don't know, the top 5 worst teams at the end of the season were the Pirates, Tigers, Royals, whatever, Diamondbacks, and Orioles, right?
That order. Sounds about right.
In that order.
Yeah.
So instead of doing a whole draft lottery where you could have, I don't know, like the Jays who just missed out on the playoffs get the first overall pick because that kind of screws over all the teams.
Yeah.
Maybe just do it for select, like, few. Or do it for all the teams, but only do it for the first 3 spots. So then, at worst, the Pirates pick 4th.
I would be completely fine.
Right?
So just say, like, there's 4 teams, okay? Or let's go 5 teams. So obviously there's more ballots in the box, I guess, for just say the Tigers because they come last. Then obviously whoever comes second last will have second most ballots. I think that'll be fair. And then from like 6th to 30th is the order that they finished in the standings. Wouldn't that would make the most sense?
I mean that could work too. I do like the idea of that a lot. And I mean also you could always do we kind of, if we combine both of our ideas, do a ballot for the first overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
With obviously, if the worst team in baseball gets the most ballots, so on and so forth, all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe stop doing it at after the 4th overall pick or whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing it at the 5th, and then like maybe
or the 5th.
Like the 5th one might get
And then after that, the teams are reordered in terms of who finished the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So
like for example, what could happen is just say each if you come dead last, just say there's 20 ballots, so 5th place or last would get 100% of those ballots, so they get 20. And then if you come in second last, so to say the Tigers, they would get 15, and then 3rd would get 10, next would get 5, and the other one maybe get 1 or something. I don't know.
And then I think it also creates interest in the fact that there's still a chance that someone like the Jays, who just missed out on the playoffs, could still get a top 5 pick, right? Like it still draws attention to it. Obviously, it's not very, very unlikely, and if it does happen, it's 1 in a million. But there's a chance. That's all.
It's possible.
Right?
It's possible. Yeah, then like maybe every other team could get like 0.5% or something. I don't know how that works, but
I know we've been going on for quite a little bit. There's one more thing I want to mention.
I'm
this lockout.
I'm okay with this going as long as possible.
All right,
as you want.
That's fine by me. One more thing I really want to mention, and if you have anything else to write out there, is for the MLB Network. Please get rid of blackouts.
Oh my god, I know.
Blackouts is hurting the game of baseball.
I don't even understand what the point of having them is. It's the dumbest thing. Like, I know we don't experience it here. We just don't get feeds from other teams. But like I know, what was the guy's name? Ballcap Sports and Ballcap Sports too.
Ballcap is also a good one. He was saying he can only watch. There's certain teams that he can't watch in his area on the network.
So stupid. That's so dumb.
You're literally you're called MLB Network. Like,
I know, right? Like, I mean, do we even get MLB Network in Canada? Because I know I can't get it.
We do, but it's on like the computer, and you have to,
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because I tried getting it with like TSN, and it's not on there.
But the YouTuber, I'm pretty sure everyone knows him, Fuzzy, right? Like the big guy.
Heard of that guy?
Big guy. Everyone's heard of him.
Fat or something, Daniel?
No, I meant big as in like
I know, big as
influential.
He's a Guardians fan. We'll take DRM from him.
He was talking about his MLB Network thing, and he was explaining that if the Guardians play in Arizona, both LAs, Oakland, and San Francisco, he can't get the game on MLB Network.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though his team is playing.
Yeah, exactly. Even though his team is playing. How stupid is that? Like,
it's dumb. Like, I mean,
you're telling him
stopping fans from watching your product on the field.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. That's never. I get it for like TV providers to make money off the games or whatever, but like it's gonna be a niche people who are gonna buy the MLB Network. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's like really diehard fans. Like most people just watch it on like Sportsnet or whatever they got in US, like ESPN.
Or whatever their local channel is, right?
Exactly.
I know Yankees, it's the Yes Network, right?
Yeah, we get that feed sometimes actually. So
sometimes we do, but yeah, like you're literally hurting the game. And if you want the game to grow and you want to make money, it's stupid to me. But do you have anything else to add on to this, Chris?
Not really, but I know that actually happened back when I had like Shaw TV. Like there used to be like blackouts for hockey games. Oh my god.
All the time.
I'm like, oh, I want to watch this Vancouver game. I'm like, I don't even like hockey, but I want to put it on the background. It's like, oh, you're on blackout. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I can't watch it. What a shame. So
it's so stupid. And I mean, even some of the games for at least my provider I get, some of the games we get from the States, some Detroit games, I can't even get Detroit games.
Yeah, like the only games we can probably get are if the Jays aren't playing and they show like a Baltimore Boston game or something.
Yeah,
or like Sunday Night Baseball.
That's it. And it's like, come on, like.
I know. I mean, I understand because we don't have MLB Network here, but like whatever. Like it's annoying. Anywho, there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and it's kind of it's the luxury tax. And I know they want to increase it. I believe it's at 210 or 212 right now, and they want to increase it to like what 230 something. And I think that's good because as a big spending team, it's good. If you're like Tampa, that sucks because you're not gonna ever get there. But I think it's honestly better because players now are demanding more and more money. Like Carlos Correa is probably gonna get a $400 million contract, and that's really not helping when your max budget's like 200 million. You're literally taking up like what 20% of that just for one player. So yeah, I think they should increase it. What do you think?
But I'm right there with you. I mean, I love the idea of increasing the luxury tax. Although I do see how it harms small market teams.
Exactly, I agree.
Right? Like I get it. I get the trade-off from it. But like you said, yeah, you kind of have to increase it with how baseball's been going.
Yeah, and I have a proposal. I just thought of this right now, but if a team has like a total payroll of like under 100 million, do you think they could probably get like some competitive balanced draft pick just to kind of compensate that they're not spending as much? I thought of this.
That is an interesting thought because I know that was actually what I was going to bring up next when you mentioned luxury tax. You jogged my memory that they're wanting to implement a cap floor.
Like a low. Oh, really? They are.
Like the lowest you can be at, or whatever. I think it's like 89 million, right? To avoid to force teams to spend a little money is what they're trying to say.
Isn't Cleveland at like 40?
It's something. I think the Tampa's been at like 60 for the last 3 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Like that. In terms of that, I don't like the idea. I don't like the idea of forcing teams to spend money. It's kind of dumb because then you're taking away spots from players who like need to develop, right? Like teams like the Orioles, where I'm just gonna keep using the Orioles as an example because one, I love their jerseys. So,
their black jerseys are
a black
nice.
one. But teams like the Orioles, where you have a ton of prospects, and all you need to do is keep playing them now to get experience, right? Until you figure out what works and what doesn't. Why would you have why doesn't make sense at all to go spend, I don't know, 30 million on a guy like Michael Conforto?
Exactly.
He's just going to eat up a spot, right? So
yeah. So,
but as for your idea, that's an interesting thought, and I like it. I really do. I think it's a good idea. Only thing is, you would have teams that could be right above the cap and then drop down at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be like a trade deadline number or something, maybe.
You'd have to find like a...
Because then that's kind of like the tank or don't tank,
Yeah,
time.
You'd have to find kind of like a limit and define it, being like, okay, if you start the season maybe at the start of the season, if you start the season under the cap or whatever, you have a pick.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. And then, and then maybe if they go like a percentage over, then they lose that pick. I don't know how it would work. I haven't really thought of it.
You could always just add like an extra round, like we were talking about the competitive balance rounds.
Yeah, or like an international free agency draft.
Yeah, or an international free agency draft. The only thing is, I would say if you're gonna do that, I feel like it has to be a lower round pick.
Oh no, for sure, because we're already adding picks left, right, and center.
Yeah,
so.
like I'm talking like a
seventh or eighth round, maybe even like 10th round pick. I'd be okay with that.
Right?
But like it's better than nothing. That's the thing. It helps teams that can't spend as much do at least something.
At least something.
Yeah, because I don't want teams to go up there and be like, I'm gonna spend 240 million every season. Like Tampa's not gonna do that. I know the Yankees will, but Tampa's not. So
exactly, and I'm a big believer, and as you could probably tell by my opinion on this, on playing prospects. Right?
Me too.
The only way you get better is if you actually get in the game. Right? So I don't want to see players like Adley Rutschman get blocked, or Keston Herstad, or Grayson Rodriguez, right? So or Jason Dominguez when he comes up to the Yankees, right? So
yeah,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been going on for 23 minutes here, so
I know. Damn, really.
I think this has been a good podcast. I think
it's been a good video. Yep. I think it's time to wrap it up, like you were talking about. If you guys like what you see, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button as well, and let us know what you think's going to come out of this MLB lockout. Honestly, what we're saying right now, none of it could happen. Who knows?
I hope at least universal DH, please.
I know.
Spend a playoffs, also, please.
Let us know what you guys want down below. And YouTube's going to recommend a video right here, so definitely check that out as well, and we'll see you guys all next time.